with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Heart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. DeWitt County has long been discussing the agreements made with municipalities for animal control services and how they could better assist with that department's budget. At Thursday night's DeWitt County Public Safety Committee meeting, Chair Megan Myers had the goal of brainstorming how they can create a pay scale for municipalities that incorporates the number of calls that come up in that area and the services that the municipality desires.
The one thing we've got on the agenda this evening are the intergovernmental agreements, and I did ask Grace if she could go through and start looking about, using the software and see if we can get some numbers. I think one of the things we've got to get a good handle on is the cost, and with the animal control study, the cost study, when we went back and looked at that, the one thing I thought we were missing is a breakdown of the actual cost just for us to run that program. If we had no municipality animals coming in, what is the cost just to have that building, the county would incur, and they've got it kind of lumped together. So I guess one of my questions to you is if we could get, is there some way we can break that out? Or I know we give them some information when they do the cost study, like do they ask generally for energy cost or when
they looked at the power bills at that time. Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, and we need to brainstorm this, how do we get a better handle of what our fixed costs are and then the variable, depending on how many animals are coming in, so we can, I think, just better understand the numbers.
Rob Walters brought up the idea of charging municipalities at the end of each year based on the activity in that area. Sheriff Mike Walker noted that it would be a similar system to how they do things.
What would the total amount be from all municipalities as far as them? Like if we set a flat fee, that this is what it's going to take for us to cover the entire county, and every year base that payment on the percentage of activity from that particular municipality. That places the burden on the people that are using it the most, and the percentage of it. If the entire cost is $10,000 and 50% of your calls are from Clinton, then Clinton pays $5,000.
That's similar to what we do with CENTCOM, because CENTCOM is based off of ETSB's portion, and then the CENTCOM participants portion is determined by the number of 911 calls that come into the dispatch center. If it's 50% of the call of those calls, then ETSB is on the hook for 50%, and then the CENTCOM municipality, Farm City, DeWitt County, and City Clinton are on the hook for the rest of it, and then it's split up by population.
County Administrator D.D. Rentmeister brought up that the county is technically only on the hook for calls that are in unincorporated land, and that animal control is currently providing more services than required to municipalities.
Statutorily, we can only provide animal control for like dogs running at large in the unincorporated areas of the county. So we don't to provide more than that to the municipalities. We're going above and beyond. So we're looking at our budget and we're budgeting, but I think we are we expending money to provide these extra services to the municipalities to enforce their ordinances and running at large, and we're not getting the revenue from it? And what are they taxing their municipalities for control ordinances?
I guess that's one of my questions. How do we get to what is a fair or covers the cost? How do we get to a good fee structure for this? I think in order to present that to municipalities, we've got to tell them how we came up with that. I think part of this also includes I think one of the issues we've had, Grace, is that like the city of Clinton, some of these other municipalities, their ordinances don't necessarily line up with ours, and you all end up enforcing things that are vague. So also making sure that we have an agreement on the ordinances that need to be in place for the county and the municipality, so they're only enforcing one set, not trying to keep track of it.
With the city of Clinton taking up around 50% of the animal control calls in the county, the committee plans to start by finding out how much is budgeted by the city for the service from its taxpayers. They hope to get a baseline of what the total cost is and what all of the needs are.
If the county's going to provide animal control services for the municipalities at whatever level they request, maybe that's where we start, is what type of animal control services would you like to contract with us? And then we look at the cost of personnel, to provide, personnel, the gas, the wear and tear on the vehicles, that kind of thing, and come up with I think right now, if asked to Clinton, what type of services do they want? I don't know that they could actually tell you exactly what services they want, because they're getting every service that whatever call they place, we're responding to and giving them that service.
Is that something that you can break down, Grace, when you get called out? How often you get called out for things that are just like somebody has more animals than they're supposed to versus someone there's a dog abuse case, or do you have?
With our new computer system, I think it's easier to break things down like that. If it's getting put in, which it is getting put in there because someone does it. So I think we'll probably be able to do that, but I'll have to go back and look through all the historical proof.
I'm going to go home and take another look at the contracts that you got for the other counties, just to get an idea, and then I can reach out to the city administrator and see if we can get a figure if they have something in their budget
that's specifically earmarked for animal control enforcement.
And then, Grace, if you have the ability just to kind of maybe give us a ballpark of what you think the calls are that you're responding to the most, just so we have an idea, at least maybe a list to start with in regards to, these seem to be the services we're providing now, and maybe there's some of those we don't need to.
John Wertz emphasized that he feels residents without pets should not be subsidizing animal control services for those who own pets and do so responsibly. He noted it's an unfair cost to the large senior population, many of whom are on a fixed income. Electric bicycles are bringing a new convenience to some central Illinoisans, but local law enforcement is raising concerns over how they are being operated on public roadways. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers indicates low-speed e-bikes have transformed from the homemade motorbikes of a decade ago into a massive, highly commercialized trend that has quickly become a top source of public feedback.
I have not looked up the statistics, but I would love to know what the expansion of e-bikes has been in just the last 2 years, let's say. I know 12 or 15 years ago, we dealt with the homemade low-speed gas and electric bicycles, but that we adoringly referred to as DUI bikes. A lot of times, folks, it doesn't require a driver's license to have one of those. And so again, a dozen or 15 years ago, we dealt with I called them the weed whacker bikes, made out of a hand built out of but now they have become so much more commercialized. And here in just the last few years, just in the last couple of years anyways, these low speed e-bikes have just become so very popular. And we're seeing so many of them here in Clinton and throughout. I think they were first introduced, probably the scooters and the e-bikes in the larger cities. You can rent them now, and have been able to for several years, but they've made their way to rural America. And I would venture to guess, Seth, that is probably the number one complaint that I hear from the public as of late, is the amount of e-bikes.
Chief Lowers outlined the 3 distinct legal classifications of e-bikes under Illinois law, noting that while standard models cap motorized assistance between 20 and 28 miles per hour, none of them require a valid driver's license.
what I want to talk about is, and we'll touch on the legalities of what an e-bike is and where they're authorized and what goes along with that. But the biggest issue that we have is the operation of an e-bike. Okay. An e-bike, there's 3 classifications of electric bicycles, low speed electric bicycles, all of them under a 750 watt motor. Class 1, a Class 1 e-bike is a motor that provides pedal assistance up to 20 miles per hour when the motor shuts off. A Class 2 is throttle assisted, and it shuts off at 20 miles per hour. It doesn't require it to be pedaled to engage the motor. And then our Class 3, which is a motor that provides pedal assistance up to 28 miles per hour. By Illinois law, the bicycles do have to carry a manufacturer sticker indicating their motor size and their classification between those 3. Class 1 and 2 require to be 15 years of age. A Class 3 requires a 16-year-old rider. However, none of the above require a valid Illinois driver's license.
Because e-bikes are legally exempt from standard motor vehicle registration, they have surged in popularity among minors and individuals without standard driving privileges.
And so they have become extremely popular among kids, but they've also become extremely popular among those individuals who don't have a driver's license or perhaps have lost their driver's license, because as the Illinois Vehicle Code has exempted them as a motor vehicle as defined, they don't require a driver's license at this time. My issue with that legislation, and again, it translates into the number of complaints that we get in law enforcement about the e-bikes, is those individuals have also not been through proper training as to the rules of the road. And so they're relying on, what they know or believe or what a parent or an adult has taught them. And so when it comes to yielding, when it comes to lane usage and signal, obedience to traffic signals and such, whether they just are ignoring those or whether they just legitimately don't know because they don't have that driver's license. They don't have that experience.
Next week at the Hart Media Group, Chief Lowers will outline several more concerns around public safety and e-bikes. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about living up to the company's tagline of connecting people.
Whether it's on our AM, our FM, our video, our social media, our camera, that we got here in studio, it's all about local people and telling those local stories. We're really excited to be doing that. We're excited to be adding some new components to this.
Hart purchased the Miller Media Group in August 2025 and looks forward to serving DeWitt County and Central Illinois for years to come.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4-lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Don't let a summer sniffle turn into a summer setback. Whether it's a cold cough, rash, scrape, bug bite, or minor injury, Warner Hospital's walk-in clinic has you covered. No appointment necessary. Just walk in and be seen by our caring medical team. Fast, convenient care. Close to home means less time waiting, more time enjoying summer. Warner Hospital Walk-in Clinic. Right here when you need us.
WHOW is Central Illinois' ag station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW AM, FM, and streamed online.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. Connor McMichael has signed a 6-year, $40.5 million contract with the St. Louis Blues. General Manager Alex Steen, who took over the job from Doug Armstrong on July 1st, announced the deal Thursday. McMichael will count $6.75 million against the salary cap through the 2031-32 NHL season. McMichael joined the team as part of the return from the Washington Capitals in the Jordan Kyrou trade last month. St. Louis also got a first-round pick and prospect Milton Gastrin. This long-term contract more than triples McMichael's salary after he made $2.1 million each of the past 2 seasons. The 25-year-old forward is coming off setting a career high with 32 assists and also scoring 14 goals in 78 games with the Capitals. He has 162 points in 333 regular games and playoff games since making his debut in the league in 2021 after getting taken with the 25th pick in the 2019 draft. In the MLB yesterday, the Mets and the Phillies kicked off the back half of the MLB regular season. It was a victory for New York 4-1 over Philadelphia in Philly. In matchups for today, the White Sox are on WHOW tonight at 5:30 p.m. for pregame as they kick off a weekend series with the Toronto Blue Jays. Anthony Kay gets the start for Chicago opposite Toronto's Spencer Miles. Pre-game for Saturday's outing begins at 1:30 p.m. and Sunday's outing begins at 10:30 a.m. In MLB matchups for today, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox play a doubleheader in Boston. The first game starts at 12:35 p.m. and the second at 6:10. At 6:05 tonight, the Los Angeles Dodgers go to New York to take on the Yankees, and the Pittsburgh Pirates will go across the border to Cleveland to take on the Guardians at 6:10 p.m. At 6:15, the Texas Rangers travel to the Atlanta Braves, while at 6:40, the Milwaukee Brewers play host to the Miami Marlins. The Chicago Cubs take on the Minnesota Twins in Chicago at 7:05 p.m., while at 7:10 p.m., the Houston Astros host the Baltimore Orioles. At 7:10 p.m., the San Diego Padres will take on the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City, while at 7:40 p.m., the Cincinnati Reds travel to Colorado to take on the Rockies. At 8:38 p.m. tonight, the Detroit Tigers head to LA to take on the Angels, while at 8:40, the Arizona Diamondbacks play host to the St. Louis Cardinals. Also at 8:40, the Athletics will host the Washington Nationals, and at 9:10 p.m., the San Francisco Giants will head north to Seattle to take on the Mariners in a West Coast matchup. Taking a look at the leaderboard for the British Open, at the moment, Lucas Herbert of Australia is 7 under through 11 holes. Tied for second is the American Bud Cauley. He's played 11 holes and is 5 under. Jackson Suber of the USA is through 16 holes and tied for second, being 5 under. And the third golfer in a 5 under tied for second situation is Colin Morikawa, but he has only played 9 holes so far. Tied for fifth across the board is the Korean Sungjae Im, the English Daniel Brown, and the American Pearson Cootie, and the English Matt Wallace. All of those golfers are 4 under. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Laurie, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on